My name is Lars Justsen. I work for the Danish Ministry of Environment, the National Survey and Cadastre. First of all, I do realize that I'm now standing between you and lunch, so I will try to keep focused so we can be in time for lunch.
No, but
That way.
there is still...
Oh, it's not up yet.
It's not this one. It's not the... Next presentation.
Thank you. Right. I'd like to provide you with some insight into our strategy for managing environmental spatial data in the Danish Ministry of the Environment. It's a strategy that we've been working on for quite some time. It's been approved by the directors of the different agencies in the ministry, and we are just about to commence the first activities that should lead to the deployment of this strategy. Right. First of all, I would just like to give you some brief information about my department within the National Survey and Cadastre. We're 25 people working with different issues like coordinating and supporting e-government and GIS application within the ministry, establishing and maintaining an IT strategy and IT architecture for e-government within the ministry, and lots of other issues. And you can say that we are an e-government and GIS service unit for the ministry. The ministry consists of 3 agencies. We have the Nature Agency, which by far is the biggest agency with about 1,500 employees. And we have the Environmental Protection Agency, which is about a third that size, and of course the National Survey and Cadastre. The Nature Agency really is working with the protection of our nature and aquatic environment, and is also responsible for the preservation of the Danish countryside. The Environmental Protection Agency, they work with protection of the environment and nature of people, waste, soil, chemicals, pesticides, gene technology, and the environmental impact of noise and air pollution caused by transport. The National Survey and Cadastre, we don't really have that many environmental data, but we are, can you say, we are a service unit in this case for the other agencies. Now I'll give you just a brief history here. If we go back 5 years in time, these different agencies within the ministry were very independent concerning data management, had many local systems. With the government, local government reform of 2007, more tasks and data came to the ministry and created some kind of problems, because we worked with file-based environmental geodata scattered on many file servers. We didn't have any metadata, we didn't have any index. We had these data in many places, so we had master copy problems. Which one is the correct data set? Several different GIS and production distribution platforms, a lot of conversion, no standardized way of collecting and ensuring quality in data. So it was very chaotic. It was a very poor utilization of data and systems. So it was absolutely essential to look at the resources and cost benefit on this, and we knew that many things could be done more efficiently. We had to do something. Anyway, we have to comply to Inspire. So the decision was made to make a new strategy for environmental spatial data within the ministry, based on the ministry's digitization strategy and in accordance with the public sector digitization strategy. So the strategy consists of a vision, some strategic framework principles, some business principles. There's a strategic action themes and a strategic action plan, and we have made a new system architecture. The vision we made for our environmental geodata is that environmental geodata and GIS supports and creates value for business processes within the Ministry of the Environment, and is an essential element in the communication with citizens, businesses and other authorities. The aim of the strategy, really what we want to do is we want to have the environmental geodata recognized as one of the most important tools for decision support in the Ministry of Environment. I'm sure a lot of us believe that, but we need to have the management and the directors with us. We need to create a shared infrastructure for environmental geodata. We need trustworthy and reliable data to be able to streamline processes and governance, to have overview and access to data, to create a uniform data structure, and we need to have well-defined quality. And all this is expressed in a series of principles. The strategic framework principles, you probably know these because they're taken from Inspire, one infrastructure model for the environmental sector, the Inspire principles. Also, we have location-based information as an essential element of e-government. Improved digital service, stronger cooperation, and increased efficiency through digitization. And the business principles, automated processes wherever possible, standardization, efficient collection, production and administration of data, reliability, availability, concurrency and quality, and common IT solution as a means to a uniform handling of common tasks. We worked on this for quite some time, and before we realized that we needed a strategy, we called it an administration model. And I'm not going through all the details here, but just to let you know that we divided all these issues into 4 different areas. Governance on the left, information, infrastructure and business use. The central part, information and infrastructure, I'm sure we've discussed a lot and know a lot about that in details. The governance part came in a bit later, but we realized that this part is perhaps the most important part. Competence development, management commitment. As I said before, we really need the attention of the management. They need to know the value of our data, and they need to see it in a business perspective. So we made this strategic action plan, and I know that you can't read any of this, but just to let you know that there are activities concerning governance and competence, some about our production system, some about distribution, and one we call change of system, which basically is that we have a lot of uses of desktop systems that we want to move to the web. So the new system architecture for our environmental geodata, the overall aim is trustworthy and reliable data and more efficient work processes. We spend a lot of resources on administration, so we have to look into that. So this is more evolution than revolution. You can say that we make use of the existing platforms, skills and knowledge, and what we want to do is to make a strict management of our spatial data production and spatial data maintenance, and then open up and be flexible on the use of environmental geodata. Today, We do use open source web applications. We use different desktop systems, MapInfo, ArcGIS, and we use the open source on our metadata registry as well. So just to repeat, the new system architecture really, where we have at the bottom the data layer, we have the business layer, and we have the client layer. We want to control the data platform quite strictly and open up on the client side. The clients are changing all the time, so we need to be able to adapt to that, but we need to protect the integrity of our data. So the new system architecture is a hybrid production system with use of commercial and open source products. We want to use the components for what they are best at. It's a strictly controlled data platform based on standards and open interfaces to ensure the data integrity and data quality, and a somewhat lenient approach to choice of application. It really should be decided by the business needs. One distribution system based on open standards, and proprietary formats wherever that is needed. And general usage is moved from the desktop to the browser-based GIS. So, next step is implementation. We have to establish an operations and support organization. We need to do pilots, proof of concept. We need to prioritize data migration. We need to do a lot of data modeling. We need to establish basic functionality of the data platform. We need to ensure desktop access to the data platform, services, authentication and security, internet and intranet web clients. And we know that some of our challenges concerns the IT performances. We really need to focus on our network. We have offices spread out all over the country. We need to look at integration with other systems. We have a lot of systems that we need to integrate to. And there are other issues like how we can handle historic data and how we publish our data on the Danish Nature and Environmental Portal. The benefits that we aim to achieve, of course, is standardized data that complies with Inspire, data that are easily reported to the EU, metadata and data in action, and to make better use of data to improve planning and decision making. We need to see it in a business perspective. And you can say that Inspire paved the road to a new and better infrastructure for environmental geodata in the Danish Ministry of Environment. But of course, it is a challenging task. It's very complex. Thank you for your attention.